All right. Hope everybody is having a great Friday. The Real Martian here. Hope you can join us in today's conversation. Glad to those that could join us. If you're watching this recorded, thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Oh my goodness, it has been another amazing week here at Eden and the Real Martian. Bart is not going to be able to be with us today. Why? Is because he is on his way to Austin, where he's going to be talking to some potential investors on our behalf. So it's a very exciting time. We've got money coming in. We've got payroll. I ran payroll. Um, my stepdad, Ron. Ron, I hope you're watching this. I'm gonna connect with you here. He ran his own business for I don't know how long was that, Ron? 20 years, 30 years that he ran his own business, and I still remember in the background at the shop, that he had there was the dollar, the dollar that was earned, and when you go in, I remember learning that, and then going in all the businesses and seeing that dollar, that is earned by people. And it's cool now that last week we reported, we did our first dollar. This week we've actually had, I think it's 4 or 5 more transactions go through. So it's neat seeing things stack up and get going. But then actually doing payroll, I remember Ron, signing all the checks and having everything at the end of the week. And now I'm doing those things. So Ron, I totally appreciate what you've gone through, and I'm glad you taught me a lot of all these things because it's really helped me be able to do what I'm doing. So thank you so much. Love you, and really appreciate how you've impacted my life. So yeah, we're doing payroll now, guys. We went 2 years ago, nothing. Now here we are, and it is we are doing payroll. That is so awesome. Uh, we signed up, got it going. Took me a while to do all the paperwork. If you've never had to set up payroll before, it can be very challenging. There's lots of things to go through, lots of hoops you have to jump through, but luckily we got a great company and they're supporting us well, and we're able to do good things there. So it's nice having that going. Uh, Last week we reported we hired our VP of manufacturing and production. So that person will be coming in on October 1st and starting and getting our production facility stood up, guys. Is that not awesome or what? So very exciting times that we're going through here at Eden, and the product, we're growing stuff. Let me see, while I'm talking here, I'm going to see if I can't get one of the towers to come up because I do have it set up now where it is remote. And it does look like it's working here. So let me see if I can get this to get bigger here real fast, and then I'll give you guys a shot. Oh, that's not a great shot. That's not a great shot. Let's find a better shot here. Okay, now let's bring this up. All right, check this out, guys. Live streaming. This is live from our garage. Got lots of plants growing. All those little guys, except for the strawberries in the very back here. We bought those strawberries, but everything else is planted from seed. And this is what, Eli, I think this is about 2 weeks or something like that that we've been in here. Maybe 3 weeks that this has been going, and they are just really starting to grow. We've got trellising going up. The strawberries have, I don't know, like 10 strawberries on them already that they're growing. So we're really starting to get it going here. We got grapes on the other tower. It's kind of hard to see because the camera is in a weird spot, but let me show you here. Get it up. Yeah, so we have tomatoes going over here. The light kind of, the light kind of drowns it out. But you can see the tomatoes, they're really coming up. We got peppers, we got grapes. We're going to be doing vertical trellising of grapes. So that's really exciting. So we got some cool stuff happening. We got plants growing. We got people we're talking to. And it's not bad. It is not bad at all. We got Microsoft Teams banging there in the background. I need to close that. How do I quit? Change that. And yeah. So turn that off really. I don't want to keep having you guys get interrupted with that little doing there. Everyone, if you've been running Teams, you know that little doing. It just makes you go, am I missing something? What am I missing? So yeah, not a bad week at all for us. Of course, now SolidWorks wants to start telling me to do up. It's like, can't they all wait? They all wait until I start a live stream, and then they start banging away here. So hey, thanks so much for everyone for joining us. 12 pack, thanks for coming on. I always appreciate you being here. And thank God it's Friday indeed. It's been a great week for us, but it is always challenging. Lots of work to do, lots of things to handle. So thanks for everyone for taking the time to be here today, and also to watch this video. Hey, if you are joining us, I'd like to know, is there a better time that will work for everybody? Put it in the comments to this video. We're doing 11 a.m. Pacific, and we're wondering, and that's Friday, would it be better at noon, lunchtime? Would it be better in the afternoon? Would it be better on a different day? You tell us, you guys, let us know what's the time that you'd like us to be doing this video, so it's available to you and you can join us. We want to have comments from you guys. We want to engage with you guys. That's why we're doing these live streams, doing more live streams now than I ever have before, because we really want to engage with you guys. We want you to be here and be part of this journey that we're on, because quite frankly, we wouldn't be here without you. Everything that's been possible, praise God, has come through Wrangler Star getting us going, and then YouTube taking off, and then meeting Bart, and here we are, and we're running payroll, guys. Things are happening, so I hope you guys do choose to let me know what is the best time and that you're able to engage, because we really want your engagement, especially as we start getting towers out there and you guys start seeing stuff. I know you probably are thinking, when are we going to get more tower videos? Honestly, it is really hard right now managing a team of people again and coordinating everything, standing up a business, and then recording YouTube videos. If you were to see my normal day, it's usually butt in chair with computer screens going, people coming, calling, phone calls, all this stuff, normal office work. So that's not very exciting for YouTube. But that stuff is mandatory. It's absolutely mandatory. It's totally value added, and it has to be done. So it makes getting good filming going. But we got Eli out there. You're going to be meeting Eli and some new videos. We've got a plan to get you new videos. You are going to be seeing these things. We got the parts have all now arrived for version 2.3 of the tower. And we're actually starting to do inventory receival right now. Eli's working on that as we speak. It's Friday, so they all just got here. We're going to probably be building next week and getting that tower going to our first customer, which is church customer. We're very excited to get them their tower. And they just got such a cool thing they're going to be doing with it, guys. I just want to share with you how God works. Is we are sitting here and we're building this thing. We want to help provide sustainable food and energy to local communities around the world. And what is our first customer? It's a church. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to use it to teach young boys as they're becoming young men science, technology, engineering, math. And then those young boys have already decided they want to take the tower and get it over into like a senior citizen home. Especially where we live, a lot of people that are in the retirement home are people who used to farm and garden, and they're stuck inside, especially with COVID. So we're trying to find, or they have decided that it would be good to put the tower into a facility and let people grow again, and the tower basically takes care of itself. So they'll be able to come in and prune and do things, but they don't have to bend over, they don't have to hunch, there's no heavy lifting. It's really gonna make their lives better. So we're super excited to get that to them as our first customer. I don't know how that could be anything other than a God thing. It's pretty amazing. The church is awesome, and we thank you guys so much for your support and for your patience as we go through the building process. So hey, make sure you give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and also put all your questions today in the comments. Definitely want to hear what your thoughts are. There again, Bart's not joining me today. He's on his way to Austin to go talk to some potential investors for us. So he gives his hello and happy Friday greetings to you all. I think that's about it. Let's see, what else do we have big? Our new website's coming along, and we should see it in, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, Blaine. And it'll be up and running, so we're excited to get you guys to go over there. If you haven't been to eatandgrowsystems.com, go over there now so you can see what the website looks like now, and then see what the website looks like in a few weeks. We'll let you know, of course, but go over there and check it out. So I just see PR is 6 a.m. on a bike ride in New Zealand. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, PR. Really appreciate you being here and following along with us. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, make sure you put your comments up, your questions up in the chat here. Yeah, I think that's about it from the what's going on Eden side of things. I want to shift over into, I was just trying to space out here. I can't think of any other major stuff as I go through. We've got our app has an update in it, but you have to be an owner in order to really get the value of that so far. So yeah, things are coming along, guys. Yeah. Okay. Hey, let's jump into, let's see here. We're going to do, I'm going to do this screen right here. So we're going to start here. Food is getting more expensive in the U.S., and it's not just due to COVID. All right, that's the headline there. And if you look at it, it's going to tell you what we've been talking about this whole time. And I bring this up just to kind of confirm with everybody that it's right here. Supply chain disruptions. That is where the problem is at. There's these other things that they're quoting here. But really, it's all about the supply chain. And the supply chain, it is getting hit from a lot of different directions right now. And again, we cannot emphasize enough that if you have not started growing your own food, you need to get on it. It is not something you can just have a bunch of seeds in your fridge or freezer or in your little Ziploc baggie, that you're storing your survival seeds, and then you just go out and all of a sudden start growing food. Folks, I tried that. I thought the same way. That is not how it works. Growing food is hard, and you need to learn how to do it, and that takes practice, and you need to practice like you fight, right? So you can't just leave your stuff in the fridge and expect that you're going to go out there someday and put a bunch of seeds in the ground, add water, stand back, drink some lemonade, and you get food. You need to be growing food right now. Start growing food right now. So if you're not doing that, you're in trouble. There is a lot of bad stuff coming. There's a lot of bad stuff here. Fear mongering and all those things. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is you got to be ready. Like, if the sky is blue, the sky is blue. If there's four lights, there's four lights, right? We can't keep saying that something is not what it is. Times are different. What our predecessors, our folks, our grandparents, what they faced in their life, they probably lived through the best times for everybody, really, on the planet. And our generation and those beyond us are going to be living in a much different world. And you need to start being able to get your own food, right? And it's not just this one article. I think you're seeing it pretty consistently. I pulled this one up and just pulled the Google propaganda machine up here. And, you can see people are starting to face food shortages in schools. And we're seeing this become more and more and more of a big deal. So if you are not out there, again, sorry, I'm doing all the control here and everything, so sorry about that. If you're not getting your own food going, you really need to step up your game and get going here. I see we have a comment here in Germany. We had a phase a couple months back where bell pepper was like 10 euros. Normal price was 4. Wow. Yeah. I'm seeing we had that on a few weeks ago where we had someone else over from the UK, and which is not Germany. And they were saying the same things, the Brexit and all that having a major impact on food and everything. But guys, this is just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. How do I know? How do I know it's going to get worse? Well, I'm going to share a little something that some of you are going to be a little upset about. But you know what? We're going to do it anyway, because if you're not bold, if you don't stand up for what you believe in, you don't really believe in it. So, hey, let's turn to the Bible, the good word here. I'm going to put out my personal opinion on this one. Not everybody's going to agree with me, but we're going to talk about it nonetheless. I think it's important to talk about. I think it's pretty awesome that we can go look at a, you know what, can I do this? Maybe I can try this here. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to learn how we do this all at the same time. So here we go. And can I zoom in? Oh, look at that technology. Hey, if you don't know what this program is called, it's called eSword, and it is fantastic. I love it. Put notes and everything in there. Okay, there we go. So I actually did a Facebook post that summarized the Bible in 13 paragraphs, right? It's 66 books of the Bible. It takes me a year to read through the whole thing because I read, a few pages a day, but you can probably read through it in a week. really, if you're banging on it. But you really got to understand the full context of what the Bible's talking about to truly understand what I'm about to say. So I know I'm stepping on some weird ground, but hey, let's come at it from a different perspective. Let's come at it from the perspective of I've been watching the news and I'm wondering what in the world is going on. Right? And is there anybody out there that has any possible answers? Well, I'm going to hypothesize that the answer that I'm coming with is from the Bible that says yes. There's actually a roadmap, and I'm only looking at one piece of it, right? So everyone who does follow along, who is a Bible-believing Christian, or even if you're not, you just understand the Bible and what's said, the Bible is filled with prophecy, and the prophecy's been right every time. So I'm just looking at one little corner of it, and there's so much more that I can go into, and I want to go into, and I think in the coming days, weeks, I probably will go into sharing my personal experience and my personal research. I'm not an expert, but I study every day, I read every day, and some days I miss, to be quite honest, and I should probably study harder. But hey, this is what we're going to go into. I've been watching the news. What in the world is going on, and does anybody have any answers? And I'm going to say yes, there are answers, and we know what's coming next. Now watch this unfold. All right, I'm going to look at the seals of Revelation. I think everybody understands the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Most people get that. They've heard it before, but what does it really mean? And trust me, folks, this has been argued and still is going to be argued, and some of you on here are going to argue about what the interpretation is. But let's just look at it plainly, and we'll just put our differences aside for a moment, and we're going to see what's coming here. So Revelation 6:2, this is the beginning of the seven seals. There's a lot of stuff that happens before this, but we're just going to focus right here because we're coming at it from the perspective of what is going on, and does anybody know what's going to happen next. So hopefully you can, I'm seeing that it looks like you can see this. So I'll zoom in a little bit more. There you go. I think that's pretty big for you. So, and I looked, and behold, a white horse, and its rider had a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he came out conquering and to conquer. So now here's the thing. Ask yourself, is there anything out there in the world right now that seems like someone's trying to get you to do something you don't want to do? Is there anything out there that seems like they're trying to collect a bunch of power together so they can do what they want to do? Because to me, it seems like this is a slam dunk. Yes, this is happening. Again, there's many interpretations of this. I'm not going into them. They're all valid. People looked at and studied this way longer than I have. I'm coming at it simply. Is there out there right now anything that seems like they're trying to conquer? To me, there is. It's very clear there is, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put a big check mark. In my personal opinion, I think the first seal is open. Again, there's lots of Christian academics and thoroughly dedicated, biblical believing, Christian loving people who are going to disagree with that, and I'm totally open to it. I get it. But I'm just looking at it simply, and I'm saying there is definitely a spirit, a conquest out there right now. And some people say, well, this is supposed to be the Antichrist and all that. All very valid. I'm not dismissing those, but I'm just saying if I look at this plainly, there is clearly a spirit of conquest out there, and there are a bunch of people who really want to run the world. And I'm going to say check next to this. Okay, and then we look at the second one, right? So the second one, a bright red horse, and its rider was permitted to take what? Peace. To take peace from the earth so that people should slay one another. And he was given a great sword. Now, this is the English Standard Version here that I'm reading from. You might have the NAV, King James, all those. There are some different verbiage between these. But here, the essential meaning is happiness and joy feelings go away and are replaced by, I want to kill you because you're different than me feelings. Or you are racist, xenophobic, homophobic, horrible person because you believe these certain things. And let me go burn down a city because you have police in it. I would say that the red horse is out of the stable and at a pretty good run right now in the world. Again, there's lots of interpretations here, but I'm looking at it plainly, just plainly. I look at all those other ways too, and I could have conversations all day long about, is this supposed to be another world war or whatever it is, but let's just look at the word simply and look at the world around us. Take peace from the earth. I would say that's a big old fat check mark. Yeah, that's happening right now. Remember, this isn't just local, because these, you could say this stuff's been happening for a long time. Yes, this is true. This is so true. Ever since humans have been, there's been people who want to be in charge, and there's been peace taken. This is all true. But those have been isolated pockets. What we're seeing now is a global thing. That is new. That hasn't happened. There might be regional things that expanded, but what we're really saying here is that no, like this is a global thing. It's happening everywhere. There is no place you can go to that this isn't happening. That's what makes it different. So I'm saying 1 and 2 are open. Lots of debate, and I mean no disrespect, and I hope you understand that I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just looking at this plainly and saying, is there a roadmap? Because I'm trying to understand what's going on in the world, and when I look at this, I say, yeah, I'm relating to this, man. I'm picking up what you're putting down here, Lord. There's a spirit out there to conquer? Check. Okay, there's peace taken from the earth? Yep, check. That's everywhere. Let's look at the next one. Now this, if those first two didn't get your attention, this one will. He opened the third seal. Black horse, right? I'm jumping ahead here. Pair of scales in its hand. And I heard what seemed to be a voice. Yeah, okay. A quart of wheat for a denarius and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do no harm to the oil and wine. Now, a denarius and all that, that's essentially like a day's worth of wages, right? So another interpretation is, you know, a loaf of bread for a day's worth of wages. What is that known as? Hyperinflation. Super duper inflation. Has anybody heard about hyperinflation on a global scale lately? Has anybody? Anyone heard about hyperinflation at all out there? Because food prices keep going up. back to what I just said, right? Back to this other article here. What is this? Oh yeah, food is getting more expensive. No kidding. That's amazing. It's like we could have never known that was going to happen, huh? I had no idea that was going to go. Wait a second, the Bible told me that was going to happen. Right? And it tells me a whole lot more, folks. If you think that's scary, wait till you see all the other stuff it talks about is coming. That's already happened. It's crazy. It is super crazy. So I would say the black horse, I put it this way. Black horse is out of the stable. Seal's open. He's out of the stable. And he's beyond a walk. He's now at a trot. But he's not at a full up run or canter. So this one seems to be unfolding literally right before our eyes. We're seeing it happen. So I'm thinking, 1, spirit of conquest. Yeah. Okay, great reset. Just go read about the World Economic Forum. I'd say that's a total check. 2, this peace removed from the earth. Yeah. Boy, oh boy, I signed up for Telegram and I've been watching what's going on behind the scenes and seeing all the stuff that's not being allowed to be on the internet right now. It is nuts. We're talking every country. It's everywhere. Like, peace has definitely been removed from the earth, right? So that's 2. And now we're looking at hyperinflation 3. So you might be wondering what's next. And that's death. Lots of it. Now, this is an area where you can get into, and because of YouTube, I'm just not even going to go into it, but just let your imaginations connect a certain quantity of people to about a quarter of the population of the planet and figure out if there's any correlation there at all, and you might be able to figure out some stuff. And there's a lot of different ways that this is going to go down. So, and then we get to the 5th seal, which is a kind of a moment of silence in heaven, and then we get to the 6th seal, where things get really, really funky. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on there, and I'm barely even scratching the surface here, because this is stuff that I've spent a lot of time. I've had loved ones, family members, my cousin. We spent days literally going over this stuff. What we did is we did a study where we opened the Bible, flipped to the end, and read it backwards. And if you've never done that, I highly encourage it, because you get there and you pick up the Bible and you start at the end, and it's kind of like a project manager. If you know what the end is, then you can back out everything and create your schedule, because, you know, this has to happen and this has to happen. You know, you can't build a house before you build a foundation type of stuff, you know, all those things. So there's a lot of stuff that you could back out of it. And we did that study, and I'm going to share it here one of these days and probably get it deplatformed and all that kind of stuff. People probably hate me because, you know, the spirit of peace has been removed from the earth. But there is so much going on out there right now. And, you know, I did another chart. Let me show you another chart here. I did this one on my own. Oops. Oh, that's kind of cool that it does that. Look at that. It's hard to keep track of all these things. So here we go. This chart here is one that I pulled the raw data myself from the USGS. So this is all the raw data. So I went and grabbed all the raw data. And what I wanted to know, I wanted to know if there's any, like, what's happening with earthquakes? Because Jesus tells us there's going to be lots of earthquakes and all these things. It's another thing that I'm not talking about right now, just kind of bringing it up. And I was like, I want to know my own data, right? I don't want to just take people's word for it. So here's what I did is I took all the earthquakes, everything over magnitude 6 or greater, because there's lots of little earthquakes, but big earthquakes. And here's how it charts out by decade, right? So I actually summarized this whole thing by decade. Starting in 1900, there was 68. Here you can see right here. Here's the actual like numbers that go. Oops, you're kind of off screen there. Come on, let's do this. We'll do this. Got to get it just right for you guys. Want you to be able to see what's happening here. There we go. That's better. All right. So here's the actual table. Now this is all based on real data. So you can see each of the years here. This is all just pulling from the USGS. You guys can go to the USGS, their database, download the whole thing like I did. It takes a few minutes, and then you just got to add the decades, and you can do this yourself. But here, check this out. In 1900, there are 68 total magnitude 6 earthquakes or higher, right? In the decade 2010, which we just left. We just left 2010. We're in the 2020s now. We're in the second year of 2020s. 1,495 in a decade. Wow. 68 to 1,495. Guys, this is a pretty big upwards trend here. This trend it continues to go up. Like, there is clearly something happening, and Jesus tells us that these things that we see are going to be like a woman in birth. It's going to be like birth pains. And we're going to see these things. They're going to happen more often, and they're going to happen with more veracity. They're going to be larger, worse, bad, and just, was it 2 nights ago, there's the magnitude 7.4, 7.5 in Mexico with that amazing light show afterwards. I guess the lights that were in Mexico were caused because static electricity in the earth crust being let, well, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a geologist, but I guess that static electricity is lightning essentially. Makes sense. But there's some really interesting things going on. And, people are going to hate me. I'll probably have lots of people that watch this and just choose to get off the channel. But here's the bottom line. This world is filled with hate. And if you want to see something amazing, see people who are worshiping Jesus. Like, go pull up, I put it on Facebook, but go pull up, what is it called? The Blessing Virtual. And just watch. And if you want to see what it means to have equality, if you want to see what it means to have diversity, go and watch that. And you want to see what it means to be in unity, go watch that. And if you've been feeling really bad lately, I'll try to multitask here while I'm telling you this, but if you've been feeling really bad, if you've been feeling down and you're like, man, so like, where'd all the people go? What happened to everybody? Let me tell you, there's a lot of good people out there that are thinking like you, like me. And when you start talking about Jesus, and when you start seeing everybody come together in Christ, it really opened up my eyes to the fact that, there's a lot of people in our lives that are going to start hating us because of what we believe. And it's really, really sad. In fact, it bothers me quite a bit because there's a lot of good people that I've come to really respect. Sorry, I'm looking over here trying to multitask. There's a lot of people I really, really respect that I've worked with, that family members, etc. And, it is sad to see what's happening in the world and how it's pulling us all apart. But Jesus told us that too. He told us that there'd be a great separation, a great divide, and it's happening. It's happening. That's why you're seeing this huge divide, and it's only going to get a lot worse. But let me see here. Yeah, so get past this commercial here, turn that off. I'm going to show you here, get this pulled up. There we go. This is called the Blessing Virtual Choir, and there's another one. Yeah, it starts down here, and it just gets going. If you've never seen this, all these people through COVID, they just came together and they started like, hey, let's go sing, let's praise the Lord. And if you enjoy music, just watch this and see what they do. and then do this for every country. Like search for it. There's like 175 countries that have done this now, and the neat thing is you can go from one to the other, and the music is the same. The language, obviously, I can't understand German or French or Zimbabwe or whatever, all these different languages, but they all come together and they're singing, and you can feel it. And it just makes me think this is what it's going to be like in our next step. So pretty neat, and it'll make you feel really good. There's another one here that's 50 countries singing Amazing Grace. Now this one's really neat. I'm going to let it go just a little bit here. I'm going to turn it down so it's not hopefully too weird on the noise. But this is what we're supposed to be doing right now. That we are supposed to be coming together. We're supposed to be uniting, and this is very powerful. Empty New York, right? And then here's this guy. He's got his face mask on, so all the lefties won't be too mad at him. But he took it down. Watch out. This guy in Wuhan singing, right? This is strength. Wow, this guy's in China singing, man. That is what, wow. I mean, that really gets me right here. The first of the song always makes me tear up and cry. I was in the fire department, man. Every time this happens, look at all these different nations. And we're all singing. We're all part of the body, y'all. We're all part of the body. So get up in that. This is what unity looks like. This is what spirit looks like. And no man can do this. They've tried. They've all failed. I couldn't do this. You couldn't do this. None of us could do this. There's only one guy who can do this. And that's because he's perfect. And he died for us. Look at Iran. Are you kidding me? You know the number one largest growing church in the world right now? You want to know where it's at? It's in Iran, where they kill people because they don't do what they're said, because they believe. If you get caught with the Bible, boom, you're done. You got caught being a Christian. I'm not going to share all the stuff that they do to your family or wife or whatever. We'll pause it there. It's there. This is it, y'all. This is where we're supposed to be standing up. We're supposed to be using every resource we have to tell people the truth and to get out there and to be in unity, not in hate. Not in hate. I'm so tired of seeing the Christians in name only that are out there spewing hate. It's wrong. We are supposed to be love. We are supposed to turn the other cheek, not to be taken advantage of, but in strength, because we know our Redeemer lives. We know that judgment is the Lord's. We know that there will be a day of reckoning for everyone who goes against it. And with that, I want to show you this, because if you don't think the times have changed and you don't think things are bad, and if you think all this Bible stuff is a bunch of hooey, then let's go here. Fortune magazine, right? Pretty big. Why Satanists may be the last hope. Why Satanists may be the last hope to take down Texas abortion bill. Now, I'm not going to go into the bill. Everyone has their opinions on it. But here, let's talk about this. What in the freaking world is going on where Satanists are the people who you have hope in? It's retarded. Satan is evil. I mean, even if you're not a believer, you know what Satan is. He's the devil. He's evil. Why in the world would anybody sit there and say, hey, well, that's an interesting combination there. Maybe the last hope. Really? You think that this is a good idea? I understand why they're doing it. And the arguments that they have, they're good arguments. Of course, Satan's arguments were pretty good too. Convinced Eve to do what she needed to do. So the world we live in is completely and utterly fallen. And if you think differently, you're wrong, dude. You are wrong. When the world turns to Satan, the devil, to have hope, and it shows up in Fortune magazine as a major headline, which then of course was this. I just pulled up Fortune as the biggest one, and it's shared, and they kind of tamped it down a little bit afterwards, because when it first came out, oh boy, everybody was jumping on board with that. Get right with Jesus. And it's really simple. If you go to my Facebook page and you read the Real Martian Facebook page, go there, check it out. I did the Bible in 13 paragraphs, right? the story of God in the Bible has been distorted by believers, Christians in name only, and by non-believers to create this hateful message, and they cherry pick what verses they go with, and they sit there and they try to defend their totally not biblical place because they're citing verses out of context. And let's be very clear, if you're citing a verse in the Bible, you better have read the whole darn thing, because you can't cite a verse in the Bible without context, and you need the entire context to truly cite a verse and be able to communicate clearly. Otherwise, you might cite something and then it's like, well, no, the Old Testament said that, and then you're like, oh, now this, that, and the other thing. Like, you got to read the whole thing before you start citing it to people. And anyway, so I put together the Bible. I've read the Bible now a lot of times, all the way through, 9 times. And when you look at it, you're sitting there and you're like, this is nothing but a love story of a parent. And go read what I wrote, because that's what it is. And God wants one thing. He provided everything for us. He provided utter, complete perfection. And we told him we want more. Like an obstinate, spoiled brat. Because he did spoil us. He gave us everything. We didn't have to work. We could sleep whenever we want. Food would just fall off the trees or pick it up off the ground. Nobody was getting killed. There was no disease. There's no COVID. There's no mask mandates. There's no nothing. It was just perfection. And we sat there and said, no, we want more. And if you look at the entire Bible, you will see nothing but a reoccurring theme of this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. We want more. We want more. And God constantly sitting there face palming it, going, you child. And he cleans it up. In the end, it all gets cleaned up. And he's only wanting one thing from us, and that is for us to say we're sorry. And that sorry, that apology, is so powerful because it admits a lot. There is a God. I'm not him. I'm subordinate to that God. And he created all this. He created me, so I better start figuring out what his rules are. And oh yeah, I'm not following them, so I am sorry. I should be following the rules. I have a lot more to say on this, but I pray that the Lord Christ be with you right now, and that if you don't know him, you come to know him. If you got questions, shoot me an email at trm@TheRealMartian.com. I'd be happy to work with you on it. I'll be happy to tell you my experience. I'm an aerospace engineer who came to Christ on my own through the science, through actual observation and experimentation is how I came to it. I'm not talking about science as a religion, by the way, folks, those that want to grab me on that one. So go check out that Facebook post, and I have a lot more to share on this, and I will be sharing it. I'm going to try to do some videos. I just don't know the best way to do it, and it'll probably burn the channel. So when I do it, you might be the last you see from me. Hopefully not. But let me go to the comments here. Let's see here. I appreciate your work and self-sufficiency. I don't think that looking at the Bible reveals what is going on. You lost me there. I'm out. Well, I'm sorry. I told you that would probably happen, but I apologize. Well, I'm sorry that you left. But, you know, I wish you'd stick around and ask me some questions, because I'd very clearly be able to walk you through what's going on. My teachings are that the seals will be open sustainably, like one scroll with 7 seals. Like so, it's rope growing out there. Okay, simultaneously, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. They all happen at one time. Yeah, I know there's lots of different ways to look at it. We know about the Kabbalah and who's run the world's affairs. 3:9, yep. We have a continuous loop of worship music playing in our grow rooms. Higher vibrations, my friend. Yeah, so plants do like good music, right? And it's amazing, the power of music. It's so motivational. It's inspiring. It really gets you. That's an issue I struggle with, because I tend to live in flesh, and I don't believe we're supposed to just sit and be trampled on. Jesus kicked them out of the temple for a reason, and so should we. Yeah, so yeah, 12-pack, great stuff there. Yeah, I struggle with the same thing. It's the idea of where is my line and what do I do, right? There's two challenging points of view here. There's the one where Jesus said, you know, he who lives by thy sword, die by thy sword. Put your sword away, Peter. Don't do violence. You know, he cut off the Roman's ear. That's one thing. But then, he also told his disciples, go buy a sword. I don't think that was to be attacking people. However, it was more like self-defense. So where I'm at on the moral issue of today is I do definitely have to defend myself. I have a right to defend myself, but I have to look at the bigger picture. Is there may come a day where I'm supposed to be taken so I can go and be in a place where I'm sharing the gospel with people who have no hope, aka some of these quarantine camps and stuff like that. And I'm preparing my soul for that. But that does not mean that I want to go quietly. I'm going to be voting. Everybody should be voting right now in your country. If you can vote, vote. Get out and vote. Everyone should be doing that. So, but there's definitely a lot of challenges in, a true believer is sitting there and they're going to be wrestling. I know lots of men who are wrestling with these same types of questions of, what do I do in these days? What do I do? I don't think I'm just supposed to sit. I'm former Air Force behind me there. You can see medals and stuff like that. I was in the Air Force. I definitely believe in the Constitution, which of course is now hate speech. Same with Declaration. Oh, I'm sorry, it's harmful speech. Same with the Declaration of Independence. I believe in it. So, in fact, if there's any books that could be added to the Bible, I'd say those documents, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights would all be added to the back of the Bible. I'm not saying we should do that. But I think they're God-inspired, and I think is, in my opinion, my personal opinion, this is not a scriptural-based thing, but in my personal opinion, I think America was God's last opportunity for, all right, y'all, this is your last chance, because you've tried it every other way, but here's this constitutional republic thing, and if you can keep it, you'll be here for a while, but good luck. And I'm pretty sure we just tanked it, so. Anyway, I didn't know what I was going to talk about today, be quite honest. So here we are. The Lord guide me. I prayed first, and here we are. So I think that means somebody out there needed to hear something. So I pray that this video finds whoever that person is. If it's just one person and it tanks the entire channel and everybody else gets off, then it was worth it. Because that is the real fight. The fight now should be the Paratroopers' Creed, so that others may live. Our role as Christians, as believers, is not to hate people. It is to help spread the word, spread the gospel, and do so in a loving way so that we can get the word to them and they can make their choice. There's a lot of stuff out there that's in the Bible that's really, really good. It takes a long time to get through. I am going to try to summarize what I've learned in it as succinctly as possible. In today's world, it's almost impossible to do that because everybody wants 8-second sound bites so they can go on to the next headline and make their decisions. So anyway, I see got quite a few folks online. If you do have questions, I know I kind of went in a different direction today, but hey, I'm happy to answer them. Good stuff happening in Eden. Not so great stuff happening in the world. I do think our systems that we're doing and building right now are absolutely critical to the days that are coming ahead, especially if you live in the city, don't have the ability to grow your own food. Please go to eatandgrowsystems.com. We're going to teach you to fish and sell you a fishing pole. That's what we're trying to do. Please check that all out. 12-pack, I did get your message. I have not been able to reply to it. And honestly, I haven't been able to go dig into it yet either. There's just so much stuff that I'm trying to take care of, especially given what happened last night. Now I have a lot more things I need to go think about. Those that know what I'm talking about. So it's challenging times for me to get to everything. So if you do synthesize any data for me, that would be greatly appreciated. Shoot it to me at trm@TheRealMartian.com. And I'm just having a hard time sucking in, synthesizing, and then acting on everything. So anyway, hey, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, notify. You know how it goes. Bash that like button. Really appreciate everybody being here. I firmly believe the Bible has the answers here. I mean, it's so utterly clear. And I'll just give you a taste of one of the things that I am going to be bringing up here. So real quick here. What's up, Adam? Glad you're online. Hey, we need to check out, connect, man. We haven't connected since our last one. I'm very curious to know what your thoughts are and what's going on in this world. So we need to connect, like after this or something. Here's what I did. It wasn't just me. My cousin also really helped me out with this. We opened the Bible and went backwards, and we started collecting all this information. We created this timeline, and what you'll notice. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. There's way too much here to do in this call, but I just want to show you. These little check marks mean all these things have happened. So those people that think that the Bible doesn't tell us what's going to go on, yes, it does. Yes, it does. It definitely very clearly says what's going to happen. What we don't know is right here. We don't know when it's going to begin. Anyone who says they do doesn't know. We just do not know when it will begin. But the interesting thing is, once it all kicks off, we know everything. We know to the day when things are going to be happening. So, did this study, and let me just tell you, we're in a high watch period right now for things going on in the world, and I'm going to be unpacking this thing on this channel. So stay tuned for that. Tell your friends. Like I said, I'll probably end up burning the channel, but it doesn't matter anymore because this is the stuff that matters. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, good stuff happening at Eden. Thank you so much to everybody who's been following along, who's been supporting. Adam, thank you so much as an investor, as a good friend. Really appreciate it. Thank you to you all. Really, we couldn't be here without you guys. So really am truly sincere when I say that. And again, let me know what time will work better for you guys in the comments section, in the comments down below. Not in the chat, down below. Put it in the comments so we could get people to do the thumbs up thing, you know, and kind of see which one's the most popular. Really like to know if there's a better time to move this stream to. We will do that so we can get more people, because we want you to add your comments, to put your questions in so that you can be part of this. Also, we're getting YouTube memberships stood up. Of course, we're on Patreon, but we're getting the YouTube thing going as well. And I think I kind of want to start doing some design review stuff and opening it up here as we get into that. Some more for towers, but you'll have to be a member or on Patreon to do those things. Can't having a design review with the whole world watching is going to be a hard design review to get through. It might take a few weeks. So anyway, I don't see any more comments or questions, so I'm going to go ahead and start closing my little ramble here. You know, I don't mean to offend anybody, but obviously talking about the Bible is offensive, and that tells me a lot right there about where we're at in the world. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I really, really do. I hope you do as well. I do believe he is the one and only way. That's going to make some people really mad. But hey, when you look at the history of it, when you look at archaeology, when you look at the facts, Christianity just kind of stacks up better than everybody else. That does not mean that Christians are all good people. And Christians have made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes, like I've put out there before. I've made people mad. I've hurt people. I've done things wrong. But I look at what I'm supposed to be doing and I sit there and I go, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to do that. And I mean it. Sincere repentance, right? I should not do that. I should not do those things. I've had my challenges. I have my sins, and I keep working on them. And that is what separates a Christian in name only from a true Christian, is one that sits there and says, yeah, I'm wrong. I screwed up. I'm sorry. Pride drops. You're open. You're vulnerable. You have to say you're wrong. Who says that in today's world? And, you know, everybody has to take a leap of faith. I guess I'll end it with that. Is if you're watching this, you made it this far. First, thank you sincerely, because if you don't believe what I believe and you made it this far, that means that you're actually a level-headed person who's willing to listen to other opinions and viewpoints. And I'm very grateful for you, because I miss that. I don't mind people challenging my beliefs as long as it's done in respect. And they don't mind if I challenge theirs. But if there's a hypocritical double standard where I'm just supposed to shut up and they get to say what they want, that's not okay. And what I see happening in the world is that's what's going on. But anyway, if you made it this far and you're still wondering what's going on, like I said, stay tuned for some more videos, because I am going to talk about it more. And just go look at the facts. Just go look at the facts. Just go look up, is Jesus a real person? And you'll find out that every debater that's out there no longer debates if Jesus was real. Jesus of Nazareth was a real person. He died. The question that everybody has is he the Son of God? And that leads to a whole lot of questions like, is there a God, and all those things. And let me tell you, if you're an atheist right now, you've made a leap of faith. You have made a leap of faith. You have taken a leap of faith, which is what atheists tend to argue Christians and other believers have done, is that they believe in something that can't be proven. If you're an atheist, and I'm talking to atheists, so have you. You believe in a universe that was created from nothing, and that can't be proven, ever. So you've taken your leap of faith, we've taken ours, and that's what sets our worldviews up, and those worldviews are what allow us to see the world through the eyes that we have. So now that we're all the same, the question becomes, which leap of faith is the more correct one to do? And the interesting thing, and I guess I'll end with this, is when you choose to take a leap of faith that leads you to Jesus Christ, you end up living a better life, and you end up treating people better. And when you die, you'll have lived a good life and positively impacted the lives of those around you if you're following the Bible and Jesus' teachings. You don't really have anything to lose. If you're right, you get eternal life. If you're an atheist and you choose to live your own moral code, first of all, that moral code can change, because how do you create a moral code that's not on a sliding scale of morality, right? Whoever votes the most, like, hey, look, Satan is now popular. He's really super popular. In fact, he's going to save you so you can have abortions. Great. That sounds like a great moral scale to be on. Anyway, so there's that. I think I'm done. Man, the world's crazy, isn't it? How did we get here? You know, we're talking about how we have to turn phones off in our house now so we can have a conversation because we're worried that they're listening. When that happened. Anyway, thank you all for following along. This is it. Made it to the end. Really appreciate you guys' time. Thank you for all your support. I pray for you, Lord. Please be with folks. And if there's anybody out there right now that's watching this that needs you, please be with them. May your Holy Spirit enter them. And may they come to know you as their personal Lord and Savior, just like I have. And may you speak to them just like you do to me. And may you manifest yourself in a real way for them so that they come to know you and the truth. Because that is what we all need right now. So thanks everybody for following along. This is The Real Martian. Out.